Good morning, everyone. Today I have brought another poem for all of you, which is titled as I Am Getting Old by Robert Kroetsch. So let's begin. First, understand who was Robert Kroetsch before understanding his poetry. So, Robert Kroetsch was a Canadian poet and novelist and literary critic. He began his writing career and published a collection of poetry, A Lovely Sunday for Creve Coeur, and then he wrote various novels like But We Are Exiled, The Words of My Roaring, Alibi, and so many things. And he generally explored theme of identity, history, and Canadian Paris. He has also got so many awards. One of the famous ones are Government General Award for Fiction of his novel, and the novel that for which he got that was The Stud Horseman, and he was also recipient of Alberta Order of Excellence Award. So, Canadian novelist, poet, and literary critics, very famous, and then he has won so many awards. He has written novels, poetry, and all. So that's about Robert Kroetsch, and now let's move towards his poetry. The poetry that we are going to study today is titled as I Am Getting Old Now. I am getting old now. I can tell I dream a lot of my mother's. In my dream last night, she was in the garden over the hill. Behind her house, she was standing. I was playing in pea vines. We were both happy. So, if we understand by first few lines of this poem, it is about realization from the point of view that he's getting old. And as he's getting old, what he's getting dreams, memories of what? Of his mother's. सो ये पोएट जो है रिकलेक्शन कर रहा है, मेमोरी में जा रहा है एज ही इज एजिंग. जैसे जैसे इसकी उम्र बढ़ रही है, जैसे जैसे इसके रियलाइजेशन हो रहा है दैट आई एम गेटिंग ओल्ड, इसको अपने पास्ट की याद आ रही है. और पास्ट में ये किसको याद कर रहा है? इसकी मम्मा को याद कर रहा है. क्लियर? एंड व्हाट ही इज रिमेम्बरिंग दैट she was in the garden over the hill behind her house. She was standing and I was playing in pea vines. We were both happy. So he is remembering all the good times, all the beautiful memories that he has spent with his mother as he is approaching and aging in his own life. Neither of us would move in the dream. Perhaps I wasn't playing. I was kneeling to pick peas. My mother held in her apron the peas we had picked together. She was standing still. I knew she was watching me. She was watching me grow. Like a bad wheat, she liked to say that pleased her. I'm getting old now. So he's again going back to that memory and he's recollecting. जैसे हम सपने देखते हैं और हमें लगता है ये हुआ था हमारे सपने में, वो हुआ था. That's how he's recollecting all those moments. He's recollecting कि शायद मैं खेल नहीं रहा था, शायद मैं पी वाइन से उठा रहा था, or my mother was standing there, she was thinking like this. So he has a blurred memory of what she and he and her mother was his mother was doing. Okay, then we come to the second last few lines, and in that he says, I'm getting old now. I wouldn't say I'm happy. Serene is an adequate word. Death is not quite the enemy it was. It is a kind of watching. And now, as he's aging, as he's approaching and getting older every day, and he has had that realization, now he's realizing that, he has reached to the emotion of serenity. And serenity, the very word, so happiness and serenity में difference क्या होता है? Happiness has excitement. It has more, you will jump, you will dance when you are happy. But when you are serene, you reach to the level of calmness where you're happy but in a more calmer way. You're more satisfied. You're more reflective. So that's what he is feeling right now. with the age, he's feeling that he has reached to the emotion that is serenity. Death is not quite the enemy it was. And one more realization that he's talking about is that, he has realized with the age death is not an enemy. ये जो वो बचपन से डरता है, death is something that we are all afraid of. But with his age, with his maturity, he has realized that death is not enemy that he used to think it was. It is a kind of watching that begins to seem a friend that one has almost forgotten. And with the age, he has realized that, that was not enemy, that is a friend rather. So that's what a realization happening. Death is a friend. One should not be afraid of that. Rather, death liberates a person. So that's what realization happening with the age. And then last lines. In my dream, last night I was playing in the garden. And again, he closed back the poem with the same dream sequence. So the poem starts with a dream. He goes with recollection of the dreams in these few lines. He was with his mother, he was playing. Then he says, no, I was not playing. I was like doing some stuff with my mother. So there's a recollection happening. And then finally he comes with the realization that his maturity, his age, his wisdom, his experience has given him that, he has reached to the level of serenity, and he has realized that death is no more an enemy, rather death is a friend. It appears as a friend as it liberates him. And then he finally ends with, I had a dream and I was playing in the garden. So that's the poem all about. Now let's understand few more critical aspects of this poem. So title and speaker of the poem, if we analyze, the title itself immediately sets the tone and the theme of the poem. So it's reflect on the life, memories, and it's a very intimate and personal perspective. I am getting old. So the very title gives you into the personal life of the poet. Then it's a nostalgic dream sequence. The poet is going back into the past. He is going back into his memories. He is realizing what he has and what he had in the dream. So recounting a dream that about the mother. So that's one important point. There's a distance and separation point. So if you remember, there was a line in a poem that mother is standing on the hill. So though he's going back to the past, he's recollecting those memories, still there's a little distance that he's feeling. Okay, so some another point, there's an ambiguity and uncertainty. So you will say that in the poem, he is not certain, he's not very sure. He says, I'm playing, then he changes his mood. So this shows the complexities of memories, passing of the time, that he's not accurate. Whether he's playing or whether he's merely picking the piece, he's not very sure. Okay, then we have a very another important theme and very important aspect of this poem is mother's presence. Mother presence is a very central motif in the poem. She is portrayed as a nurturing figure. So this is also a very important aspect, that it shows that how important the place that mother had in her life and in his life. So that's what this thing tells. Finally, this poem has a reflection on aging, that how he's acknowledging his own aging and how he's acknowledging that getting old is not bad. We all generally praise being youthful, but here we are getting another perspective that getting old is also not so bad. It also gives us feeling of serenity, that what he talks about. Then there's also theme of death. So there's an interpretation and reflection on the death, and it has been realized that death is not enemy, rather it is kind of watching. It is a friend. So that's what here we have understood. Exploration of mortality is here. That's another theme. And finally, it has a circular nature. Circular nature, it starts with a dream and it ends with a dream. So that's a circular nature. It takes the cyclic nature of life and memory itself, suggesting that certain themes and emotion resurface as one's gold on. So this poem actually takes us how life is cyclic. हमारी जिंदगी कैसे साइक्लिक है, memories कैसे cyclic होती है. So that's what it is hinting towards. And finally we can conclude I'm Getting Old is an evocative poem. Complexities of aging, memory, and contemplation of mortality is there. There's an interplay of past and present, and skillful use of language, imagery, and exploration of human journey through time. So that's the poem was. I hope you have understood this poem. And with this, we have come to the end. Bye bye. Good night.